Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 39, A Tourist Vision, beginning with verse 46. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Once again, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 39, Akura's Vision, beginning with text 46. Tasyot sange ganasyaman pitakosheya vasasam purusham chaturbhujam shantam padmapatra runakakshanam charu prasana vadanam charu hasa nirikshitan subra bruhu sasam charu karanyam sukhapola anurodhadharam pralamba pivara bhujam tungam sorastalam shriyam kambu kantam nibam nabhim valimat palodoraram. Okay, beginning. Akura then saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead lying peacefully on the lap of Ananta Shesha. The complexion of that Supreme Person was like a dark blue cloud. He wore yellow garments and had 4 arms and a reddish lotus petal eyes. His face looked attractive and cheerful, with its smiling, endearing glance and lovely eyebrows. His raised nose and finely formed ears, its beautiful cheeks and reddish lips, Krishna's face. The Lord's broad shoulders and expansive chest were beautiful. His arms were long and stout, and his neck resembled a conch shell. His navel was deep, and his abdomen bore the lines like those on a banyan leaf. This is our first verse. Very, very beautiful verse describing Krishna's wonderful, beautiful appearance. You have his face, his arms, his legs. We have in Chaitanya Charitamrita that there's a verse that is shared by Bilhamanga Thakur. Madaram madaram vapur asya babor madaram madaram vadanam madaram madugandhi medusmitam etadaho madaram 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 madaram. And so the translation is, sweet, sweet is my sweet Lord's form. Sweeter still is his face, vadanam. Madaram madaram vapur, his form is vapur, very sweet. 2 sweets there. Madaram madaram vapur asya babor. Madaram madaram vadanam madaram. Sweeter still is its face, so fair. But his honey-scented, gentle smile is sweet beyond compare. Sweet, sweet is my sweet Lord's form. Sweeter still is his face, so fair. But his honey-scented, gentle smile is sweet beyond compare. So vadanam, his face, gets the 3 sweets. But his madhu gandhi, his honey-scented, medusmitam, gentle smile, is sweet beyond compare. So his face looks attractive and cheerful with its smiling, endearing glance and lovely eyebrows, its raised nose and finely formed ears. So this is Akura. He went to take a bath in the Yamuna. When you go to sacred places, like Mathura is a sacred place, you go, and before arriving, you should take a bath. You should take a bath in a holy, if you can, in a holy river, but just take a bath and chant your prayers. Once we were traveling to Rath Yatra in Los Angeles, And we would drive down from Portland, Oregon. So it was a 16-hour drive. And we would drive down. We would take, I think we would rest somewhere one night, but we'd drive down. We usually take some new devotees who've never been to a big festival. Our Portland temple was simply a tiny little house in the neighborhood. So we wanted the younger devotees to see the expansive experience of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness doesn't mean one tiny house in the whole city. So we bring everybody down to Rath Yatra. So we were driving, and about 3 hours before you hit LA, you have the roads, it's like flat, and then comes all the hills and all the mountains like that, coming from north to south. And so we would always go to the rest stop and then go find some secluded space. We put on our gumshas and we would take a bath and we put on fresh clothes. And so we did so. And we drove for about 15 minutes, going probably, I think, around 80 miles an hour. And our tire popped. Our van is going like this. And then it flipped onto its side and slid down the side of off the side of the road. And then ambulance came, cops came. Krishnamanga got some stitches on her forehead. And we had some blood on our clothes, and they took us to a hospital. And in the hospital, it was a hospital for the local prison nearby. And so we went to the hospital. I got some stitches, she got some stitches. And then we showed up at Rath Yatra, not so purified. We had, our clothes, but there's some blood all over our clothes. And then luckily there's devotee chiropractor there, because very soon, all of a sudden, we were like stuck in various ways. So devotee chiropractor fixed us up. Not exactly Krishna's pastime, but just to share interesting, taking a bath before you go to a holy place. One may ask, well, why did Krishna do that to you? But actually, Krishna, he's the creator of our karma. For the devotees who are trying to take shelter of the Lord, he takes what they already have come into them. Like we just have all these ingredients inside our kitchen. And Maya Devi, she just throws everything inside the pot and then boils it and have you eat your karma. Bhunte bhujayate. Bhunte, what's that? 33rd verse of the second chapter, first canto. Aso gunamaya bhavat. No, but it says bhunte. Basically, you have to eat your karmic reactions. But she doesn't necessarily make a delicious meal out of it. She doesn't take all those ingredients and like, okay, this is appropriate amount of spice. This is a appropriate amount of salt. Here is some hing. Here is some turmeric. And let me balance it all in such a way that it will be a wonderful situation. But Krishna, he curates our karma. It's like, okay, I have your giant stock of bad karma and giant stock of good karma, and let me put these ingredients in such a way that you will taste my mercy. You will taste my connection. You will taste when the good things happen. You will taste that care, as Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye januparupashatesha nityabhyuktanam yogakshamam bahamyaham. And the acharyas say that Krishna is there to this yogakshamam, this taking care of his devotees, bringing the devotees, vahami means I bring those things to my devotees. And he says it's not even just the spiritual things. He cares for the material well-being of his devotee. As this sixth loving exchange is described, not a sixth loving exchange, 6 symptoms of surrender. Anukulasya sankalpa partikulasya varjanam rakshititi vishvaso guptrit ve varanam tata. So the rakshiti is protection from danger, but the goptirit ve, it's also, when you read it you might be confused because they both sound like just protection. But one is protection from danger, and the second one is just the general care that one needs in one's life, shelter and all these things. Not necessarily a dangerous situation, but it's more like just the care that the individual will need. So Krishna takes care of that. And so he's that karma curator, and when the good things happen, we hopefully we feel some gratitude. When the bad things happen, we feel this gravity and self-reflection. And so Akura is seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead lying on the back lap of Lord Ananta Shesha. So who are the two Sheshas? Question for everyone. Who are the two Sheshas? You can answer. Any? Two Sheshas.
Sheshanaga.
Sheshanaga, the Lord lies down on Sheshanaga. And how about, is there another Shesha we find, like if we look up at the map of the universe? Another Shesha we see?
Another Shesha.
There's a Shesha in the bottom of the universe. And it's describe all these planets. Everything is resting on his hoods. So the Laghu Bhagavatamrita says, one of them is an expansion of Lord Balaram, and the other one is a Shakti of Aisha avatar. The other one is a soul, a jiva. The giant one in the bottom of the universe is a soul. Is an Avesh avatar. Very interesting. Such a big, huge, powerful personality. And that one is the Avesh avatar. So next verse. Brihat katitata shroni karo bhurhu vayanvitan charu janu yagam charu janga yugala samyutam tunga goparuna naka vrata diditi birvritam Nava Angulas Tadaler Vilasatpada Pankajam. He had large loins and hips, thighs like the elephant's trunk, shapely knees and shanks. Yeah. How many of us have ever seen somebody's knee and like, damn, that's a beautiful knee you got there. That's so wonderful. I haven't seen such a knee. But that's the experience of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you were to see Krishna's knee, you would be amazed how beautiful his knees are. There's a devotee, Mother Mahabhagavat. She had a wonderful dream where she was in the ocean and she was on a boat. And as she's on the boat, she starts to see Lord Jagannath in the water floating by. He's floating by in the water. And she's like, oh, wonderful, Lord Jagannath. Wow, Lord Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. And then comes Baladev. He starts floating by. And she's like, oh, Lord Baladev, Lord Balaram, Jai, Lord Balaram. And then from the distance, she just sees from the distance. She just first notices beautiful arm. And she doesn't even see the rest of the form. And she has this realization that she can see the rest of the form, but just by her focus is just on this arm. And it is so beautiful that she's disenchanted just by seeing the arm of Subhadra. And so, and in this way, I believe she wakes up at this point. So look at it. These are the knees of Krishna. Is praiseworthy knees. His raised ankles reflected the brilliant effulgence emanating from his nails on his petal, like toes. And it says reddish here in the verse, Aruna. And you have this lot of charu, charu, charu means attractive, which beautified his lotus feet. Next verse, 51 through 52. Sumaharha manivrata kirita katak angadhai kati sutra brahma sutra param nupura kundalai brajamanam padakaram Shankha Chakra Gadadharam Srivatsa Vakshasam Brajat Kashtubam Vanamalinam. See, so it's got, we hear some sutras, Kati Sutra, Brahma Sutra. So he has a nice, adorned with a helmet. Money, Vrata, having many gems. Helmet, bracelets, and armlets, where we're all bedecked with many priceless jewels. And also a belt, a sacred thread, necklaces, ankle bells, nipur, this is ankle bells, and earrings. Actually, since we read recited this prayer about Krishna's beautiful smile, why don't we do the one about Krishna's his ankle bells? And this one is also poeticized by Dravida Prabhu. Kini rasabai sai ran kana bhuvi unka nine sadantam kun konu pada yugalam kan kana karam bhushanam harim vande. And so here's the translation. I bow to Hari, whose waist bells tinkle as he crawls through his father's yard. His ankle bells jingle and his bangles jangle as he melts Vrindavan's heart. Also by Bilvamanko Thakur. So again, he's adorned with helmets, bracelets, armlets, are all bedecked with many priceless jewels. And also with a belt, sacred thread, necklaces, ankle bells, and earrings, the Lord shone with dazzling effulgence. In one hand, he held a lotus flower, another conch, discus, and club. Gracing his chest was the Srivatsa mark, the brilliant gem, Kashtuba, and a flower, Vanimalinam, a forest flower garland. We have that in the Gaurati song we sing. This is Krishna, Gala Deshe Vanamala, Kore Jalamala. He's dressed in this beautiful garland of flowers that are forest flowers. Jalamala, simply just so totally effulgent. This is a description of Lord Chaitanya. So effulgent, so beautiful, that even the beauty of millions of moons, Bahukoti Chandrajini Vandanat Uchwala, cannot compare to his beautiful effulgence. Okay, and we're continuing text number 53. Sunandananda Pramukhai Parshadai Sankakadibihi Surashe Brahma Rudrayer Navabhischa Dvijotamai Prahrada Narada Vasu Pramukter Bhagavatotamai Stuyamanam Pitagbhaver Vachobhir Amalatma Bihi Shriya Pusha Gira Kantya Kirtya Tushles La Tayor Jaya Vidyaya Shaktya Maya Cha Nishevitam. Shevitam. All who are there? They're all, who's there? All the servants Nishevitam. They're all there to serve. Encircling the Lord and worshiping him were Nanda and Sunanda and other personal attendants. These are attendants of Vaikuntha, because here we're hearing about Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and this will be further clarified in the first verse of the next chapter, because he says the Lord is born, Brahma is born from your belly button. Sanaka and the other Kumaras, Brahma, Ruja, and other chief demigods, the 9 chief Brahmanas, and the best of saintly devotees, headed by Prahlad, Narada, and Upachara Vasu. Each of these great personalities was worshiping the Lord by chanting sanctified words and praise in his own unique mood. Also in attendance were the Lord's principal internal potencies: Shri, Pusha, Gir, Kanti, Kirti, Tusha, Ila, and Urja. And so these are the first 6 are the 6 opulences of Bhagavan. And then you have the divine source of the Bhu energy, the earth. And then there's another one, Urja, which is, I think, manifested as Tulsi. So we'll read. As were his material potencies, Vidya, Avidya, and Maya, and his internal pleasure potency, Shakti. Purport. Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur explains the Lord's potencies mentioned in these verses. Shri is the Aishwarya, the potency of wealth. Pushti is that of strength. Gir, knowledge. Kanti, beauty. Kirti, fame. And Tushti, renunciation. These are the Lord's 6 opulences. Ila is his Bhu Shakti, also known as Sandini, the internal potency of which the element earth is an expansion. Urja is his internal potency for performing pastimes, and she expands as a Tulsi plant in this world. Vidya and Avidya, knowledge and ignorance, are the external potencies which cause the living entity's liberation and bondage, respectively. Shakti is his internal potency, Hladini, and Maya is his internal potency, who is the basis of Vidya and Avidya. The word Cha indicates the presence of somebody else, the presence of the Lord's marginal potency, the Jiva Shakti, who is subordinate to Maya, Lord Vishnu, and was served by all these personified potencies. His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu, he gave a series of lectures, and one of the series he was talking about how in many verses you'll have the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you'll also have his 3 Shaktis, his marginal potency, the Jivas, the internal potency, and
Boo, we can't hear you. Can't hear you now.
So the internal potency, what is the internal potency in the Krishna Mahamantra? Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you now, Prabhu, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Before it was
Okay,
really
okay.
choppy.
Maybe I said it loud and it might messed up or something. So if you, that's the internal potency. Then you have the Shakti Man, you have Krishna. Where's the Jiva in the Mahamantra? How do you find the Jiva in the Mahamantra? Marginal potency. Question. So Hare is Radha, Hara, but it's invocative, meaning there's a person saying it. So that's the indication that there's the Jiva is being indicated So here it's saying that the word Sha implies the presence of the Lord's marginal potency. The Jiva Shakti is subordinate to Maya. Lord Vishnu was being served by all three of these personalities. Just like Jiva Goswami says, if we find a Vedic statement saying he went to the market, it means that there are there's three different individuals that are indicated in that statement. Because the Vedic statements are heard means that they're the one who's speaking, the one who's hearing, and the one who's being indicated in the dialogue. So he went to the market is three people: the person who's being told, the person who heard it, and then the person who's being spoken about. So here the Jiva is there as well. And one more verse, two more verses. Vilokya subrisham prito bhaktya paramaya yukta krishat tanu urho bhava hari klinatma lochanaha. Lochana, what is his eyes like? Let's see. Oh, his eyes are, this is describing Kura. Gira gad gada ya stosit satpram alamba satpataha pranamya murdvanad vahita kritanjali putra shanai. So his voice is getting gad-gada, this onomatopoeia that we find in Sanskrit and in Bengali, that it's gad-gada means gad-gada, his voice is choked up. So as the great devotee Akrura beheld all this, he became extremely pleased and felt enthused with transcendental devotion. His intense ecstasy caused his bodily hairs to stand
Ooh, the sound is gone again. We can't hear you. Sound is broken.
tears of flow from his eyes, drenching his entire body. Somehow he managed to steady himself.
Chandra, you're way breaking
Somehow
up. We
he
can't hear you.
managed to steady himself. Akura back. Okay, let me put my headphones. New phone, so I have to replace it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good. You really cracked up. So maybe repeat what you said the last little bit
Okay.
because we couldn't hear.
Tell me if there's a difference in the sound now. If it's more steady.
Yeah, it's right on.
Okay, his intense ecstasy caused his bodily hairs to stand on end, and his tears to flow from his eyes, drenching his entire body. Somehow he managed to steady himself. Akura bowed his head to the ground, and then he joined his palms in supplication, and a voice choked with emotion very slowly and attentively he began to pray. So this is the preamble to the prayers given in the next chapter. One point about this vidya and avidya we learn in 11th canto, that vidya, as it says here, this is the material potency. And so when there's avidya, there's ignorance, and vidya is like avidya is the wood, and vidya is the fire. And when the wood consumes the fire, then both cease to exist. And it seemed like a surprising statement, but it was basically vidya means the knowledge by which you get out of ignorance, that the kind of like the medicine. But once you're out of ignorance, that medicine is no longer the material. The knowledge of freedom from material engagement is not needed, because the one is already beyond that. So vidya and avidya they are described in the previous verse as material potencies of Maya. So mostly we have these beautiful descriptions here. We're meant to also immerse ourselves in this meditation like Akrura. When we go to a place like Vrindavan, we take shelter of Akrura's mood and prayers, and we also try to be in this mood. And so in this way, we can also, while we are in New York City, we can try to remember all these beautiful description of Krishna, his smile, his face. And we don't even have to just remember, we can just go and see Krishna, take darshan, go take darshan of the deities and admire their beautiful form, their beautiful dress, and their kind presence. And this way we won't be attracted by the flickering beauty we find in this material world, which can be a very distracting, something that distracts us from our spiritual progress, like a carrot on the stick, or like a laser light with the cat chasing after, like that. So I will stop here. If there's any comments on these verses or reflections or question.
Wonderful class, Nityananda Chandra Prabhu. Bhima Prabhu followed by Adi Purusha Prabhu.
I'd just like to say that the laser light with the cat is like our thoughts. That's was a wonderful metaphor. I'm probably going to remember that one, because our thoughts flick about, and we jump on them, especially while chanting, and yet we get nothing. We get nothing, you know. And usually at the other end of that laser is somebody laughing at our jumping about. So somebody's having a good laugh on us, you know. When we learn to realize that these thoughts are something separate from us, then but we have a good fun, I guess. We have good fun trying to get that little laser light of thought. But as we can see, we're being made fools of. So thanks a lot for that, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Adi Purusha Prabhu. Unmute first, unmute.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Extraordinary class, extraordinary subject, wonderful presentation, and all the different attractive features of Krishna that Krishna's revealing to Akrura. And Srila Prabhupada tells us of all these attractive features. You may speak about his jeweled ornaments, or the forest flowered garlands, or the clothing. But then there's this, what Prabhupada says is the most attractive feature, and you mentioned it a few times, this affectionate smile, that Krishna is looking at us with love. Krishna is so attractive because we're living in this love desert in the material world, where people don't even know how to express love, or even know who we are, much less how to love us. So when Dhruva sees Krishna, and Krishna appears to Dhruva, or in any of these instances, they're so shocked and stunned and enthralled by the Lord's glance, by his affectionate glance, that draws us to him, because we can't live without loving relationships. And in the context of Krishna consciousness, the love for Krishna and Krishna's love for us is manifest, and also our affection for each other, genuine affection. We're all living entities. I wanted to ask you a question about that experience you had going over the cliff in the van. You know,
We didn't go over a cliff. It was interesting because the road was either a mountain wall or a cliff, mountain wall, cliff, mountain wall, cliff, mountain wall, cliff, like that. And then as soon as our tire popped, it was like grass. So it was like the cliff, and it was either the situation was a cliff or a drop or a wall, and our tire popped right after that.
There was a kind of a
And we
crash.
the van flipped on its side.
In my experience, we used to travel about 140,000 miles a year on traveling Sankirtan, and I've had so many instances of having sliding off the road in a Sankirtan van, but one particular one stands out. I was traveling with Nityananda Prabhu, and it was winter time, and we were rushing to get to this one event, and it was snowing like anything. I think we were in Michigan. And I started to tell him we were probably going 70 or 80 miles an hour. I said, Prabhu, the road surface, it's going to get slippery. You better be, maybe we should slow down, you know. But he kept going, and then all of a sudden, the road changed into like an ice sheet, and all the cars were flying all over the place, and our car was doing like a pirouette in the middle of the highway. And I was looking out. I was on the passenger side. I looked out the passenger window, and there was a semi-tractor trailer coming straight at us, you know, you know, and I was just screaming like an animal, ah! And Nityananda Prabhu was driving. He was going, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. So I was wondering when you guys had the crash.
Did he have a beatback on?
And
Adi,
everything. Yeah.
did Nityananda Prabhu have his beatback on? Was he chanting on the beatback?
I don't know, but he was chanting the holy name. But I wanted to ask, when everything went flying like that, did everyone cry out to Krishna?
I don't remember. All I remember is like,
What I find is that in the
I don't think so.
16 round,
Maybe my wife.
we have so much philosophy, but then in the instance where, you know, peril comes, I was just screaming like an animal. I can remember I was just going, "Ah!" And there's this other devotee, Hare Krishna, Krishna. And, you know, so we do want to thank Krishna. He's so wonderful that he does give us these experiences. And then I've seen devotees in very intensely dangerous, sudden situations where they actually did cry out to the Lord. And I aspire to be like that someday. Anyway, we appreciate Krishna's affectionate smile, and that's a very attractive feature. Oh, glory to Shil Prabhupada. What did you say? Sweet smile?
Bhima Prabhu, where are you? Yeah, there you are.
I just wanted to once again take note of something that was said that is a solid image, and that is Adi Purush saying that we're in a love desert. I think that's that's so apropos, being that most everybody's running around. As I can't remember Prabhu, what's his name? He played that song, looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong faces. So yeah, it is wild that when we consider beauty, attractiveness, affection, especially something like an affectionate glance, it's the pinnacle of material enjoyment, is to have somebody look at you beautifully with love and affection. We get it when we were babies from our mothers, and hopefully we get it when we're older with our family. But we can always depend upon it. We can, Vidya. Nityananda Prabhu was telling us about avidya and vidya, and vidya is that knowledge of understanding that if there is love, then there must be absolute love, and if there is affection, there must be absolute affection. If there is beauty, which we know to be true, something that is attractive, something that's mesmerizing, that there is a source of that beauty, and that all these three things, love, affection, and beauty, are coming at us from Krishna and Radharani, and that we can be assured of this, and that love desert all of a sudden becomes that oasis. All of a sudden we come upon water and palm trees and Krishna's and the devotees association. So thank you both for a wonderful morning images to start our day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. Bhima the Kaviraj. Okay, any other reflections, dear devotees? It's your turn. This class is like an oasis in the desert, in the love desert. Don't make me call you out. Okay, I'm calling out Jamuna Jai. Is she still on the call?
No, she left.
She says she's not afraid. She left. Oh, yeah. Okay, Rupesh
So
Prabhu says,
one point about the dunking in the water, when he went into the water, when he went in the water, he first saw Krishna Balaram, and then he ran back to the chariot, and he's, wait, how do you guys, you're over there, and then he comes back to the water again, and then it's not Krishna Balaram, it's Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Ananta Shesha. So it was like he's having different experiences of the Lord. So I don't want, that was just a little detail. I don't want to miss that detail.
thank you, Nityananda Chandra Prabhu. And why do you think Krishna didn't show Akrura his universal form, but showed him his Vishnu form?
It says
That
here, it
would
says
be
Krishna
would have been
showed
a
the
better
form of
plan.
Vishnu. Krishna showed it here. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the purport of verse number 44 and 45. Krishna showed himself, the form of Vishnu, his Amsa, which is the deity of his mantra. So he's praying, he's chanting. What is he chanting? He's chanting the Gayatri. He's chanting, and so he's responding. Okay, here you go. Here I am.
Yes. So whatever mantra we are chanting, that's the form of Krishna that we're gonna get. And if we're chanting like
Schnick schnick
"Didam, didam, didam, dam, 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 didam, didam, schnick schnack," then that's what we're gonna
Hey,
get.
kitty.
Yeah. Okay. A very important note from Rupesh Prabhu. Looking for love, Bob Morrison and Johnny Lee. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces. Thank you, Rupesh Prabhu. Okay. I am gonna call out Bruce Almighty. Hold on. Bruce Prabhu. Can you reflect? Bruce Almighty. Bruce Prabhu. He's probably driving. Oh, no. He's not driving.
Hare Krishna. I have a very basic and simple reflection, and it struck me earlier on, is in the beginning of class, is that there's nobody that I want to hear about how beautiful they are on a daily basis. I just can't imagine hearing about any celebrity, any one of my family members. And I was just thinking how I never get tired at all. And like, as soon as I hear about how beautiful Krishna is, I mean, we were discussing how beautiful his knees are. Like, I've never thought of, we always, this is perhaps something I should keep to myself, but we always talk about ankles and how people have like just ankles upon ankles. And we're talking about how beautiful his knees are. And I'm thinking, I never get tired of hearing how beautiful Krishna is. And it just warmed my heart to think that I have enough faith in Krishna to realize that he is so beautiful. And every time my ears perk up, I hear how beautiful he is. So simple reflection. And I was thinking about it during class. And Nityananda, your classes are always bring another level of attention when I hear that you're giving class. It's like, again, the time for the ears to perk up. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bruce Prabhu. What a wonderful reflection. It's showing your sincerity.
Krishna is the bee's knees.
And the beauty of your ankles. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, Adipusha Prabhu, how is the darshan situation unfolding?
Coming.
Coming. Okay, let's get ready to be seen by the Lord and to see the Lord Turn on your cameras if you can. And I want to see how beautiful you are. Bhima Prabhu, you're beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Das Prabhu, you're beautiful. Dr. Bill, you're beautiful. Hemangi, you're beautiful. I want to see somebody's ankles. Yours, Prabhu? Sundar. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Das Prabhu, are you carrying us lovingly?
Yes.
Das Prabhu, thank you. Thank you.
Carrying you.
We feel the warmth of your hands. Okay. Wonderful class, Nityananda Chandra Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for participating, for contributing. Have a wonderful, fulfilling day. Come again tomorrow. Get out of the desert of love. Okay. Hare Krishna.